This is my dirt bike that I love and fucking hate greatly. It is now a Honda GX160 swap because, well, the other one, the other one's right here, but it doesn't have a fucking piston anymore. It decided to leave a while ago. Yeah, this is, so after pushing it home a mile, I went, bought that engine, which only has 4 hours and 20 minutes. That's how you read that on it. And I also went and bought I went and bought myself a nice Brevex torque converter. I went name brand because, fuck, I already got ass raped for the engine, so why not just finish the job? And it goes about 70 to 80 if I change the spring on the torque converter out for a later one. It'd probably go well a lot faster. It does wheelies. You can tell it does wheelies because the fender's fucked off because, oh yeah, and the seat doesn't really like the wheelies too much. It's done some burnouts, but it's like there's nothing. That is nothing. Brakes are fucked, but they'll stop you. It's either all of it or none of it. And yeah, VTEC's pretty cool. If you were wondering how to set up on the throttle on these fuckers, which I was for like almost 4 days, this shit took me, I figured out that is like a 4 or 5 millimeter bolt. It's already threaded in there. You just steal this off some engine you don't give a fuck about, and then you bolt that in with any other old shitty bolt that you have laying around. You take some fucking spring, you hack the shit out of it, you drill a hole at the top of the throttle lever here, and then yeah, I took this whole assembly off, and I drilled a hole through that, put a nut through there, and then just put the throttle cable on through there. Now I just used the stock throttle cable all the way up through in here, and it'll work. It works like a treat. So that shit's fine. And hang on, somebody's doing a poll, and I wanted to listen to it. I think it's a Honda Civic brother. Probably. And I used the stock gas tank. That worked. I went and I chop sawed me some fucking nice thick. That stuff was not cheap. Angle iron. No, that's not angle iron. It's fucking daft and retarded. That is square stock. And then after that, we drilled a hole through the frame. I don't know if you can see that. Probably fucking. We put some big ass bolts in there. That holds that engine down. Nice and sturdy. Jesus Christ. And I didn't have to change the air filter out, which was surprising because I figured I would, but I didn't. So that all fit in there, so that's all fine and dandy. I'm sure you give a lot of fucks about that. And everything else worked. This torque converter works with this engine. It has some weird 5/8 drive shaft in there. This odd, and you'll fuck if you'll find it. But this Brevex torque converter works with this bike, and I didn't have to search. If you go on Amazon, it's like the bestseller or some shit like that. But other than that, everything else just kind of dropped in and fit. The stock rear sprocket. It's really fucking. You gotta keep these chains fucking lubed. That's why I go break on you every goddamn time. You know how many chains I've had to put on this bike? It's like 8 now. Like, come on. If you're gonna build a bike this fucking big, put some decent. Fuck. That's gonna touch that. Put some decent, nice chain on here. Something better than 40. I don't know. Just like one higher up than 40, because this shit breaks all the time. It's getting annoying. But other than that, I get about 2 to 3 hours on one of these small little, barely, like there's my big ass, small ass, whatever you want hand. And I'll get a few hours out of that because, I don't know, with the Honda, it fucking sips fuel and VTEC or some weird shit like that. I don't fucking know. Which is weird because it has a fuel pump on it, which you'd think something with a fuel pump is drawing a lot of fuel, right? No, I don't understand it. But I was just riding this and it was running, and I can touch the top of the valve cover. This thing is cool as a cucumber. I love this engine. Better than the stock Chinese piece of garbage they had in here. It goes faster than it used to, and this is like 0.5 or 5, half a horse, whatever the fuck, half a horsepower less than the old one. My hands are fucking freezing, so I'm gonna keep them up here. And it still goes faster. It'll do wheelies. It'll do what you want. I would get a better muffler if this thing wasn't under warranty, because that is thick. I can't say Rachel jokes. It's not allowed anymore, but something with your auntie. Anyways, other than that, this thing is mint. So yeah. Do a Honda swap. It's worth it. I fucking love this thing.